naps.
Perish the thought.
Knight Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. Michael Knight, a young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate above the law.
Welcome to Beyond the Night, brought to you by the GCRN and Audible.com. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Mike, and joining me is Dion the Music Man. Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Today we're going to be going beyond the night and recapping Knight Rider Classics Season 1. So here's how this is going to break down, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about our favorite moments. We're going to talk about our least favorite moments. Favorite characters, least favorite characters.
Yeah.
Episodes we love and episodes we hate. And then we'll do, just closing out overall thoughts on the season, stuff like that. Each of these sections is going to be its own section, and you're going to hear audio clips in between illustrating why we like or why we hate or loathe or just whatever.
Despise.
Yes. So it's going to be very interesting, going to be very cool, and we will see what happens after Kit hits the turbo boost.
I forbid it.
Devin, you can't forbid it. I can certainly take away the car. I'll get another one. Besides, it's in my name. That's where you're wrong.
Michael Knight?
Michael Long is dead. Remember that.
How do I suddenly become Michael Knight?
Yes, well,
Driver's license, credit cards.
it's all on Mr. Knight's orders.
These are good now. Could have dated these ahead if you wanted me to stay here. You knew I'd leave when I wanted to.
You're a primitive, Mr. Knight. You're quite predictable.
You think the old man was pretty smart, don't you?
A certifiable genius.
He must have known what he was doing when he picked me to get a little revenge for him. I'm on my way.
Well, just a minute. There are several things about this car that I ought to explain.
That's all right. I'm a fast study. I'll pick things up as I go along.
Look, that's very foolhardy.
Goodbye. Thank you. Oh, and I want you to know something. I kind of got to like you.
What?
All right, and we're going to be talking about our favorite moments from Season 1. For me, this is, fairly decent, fairly stuff I've already talked about. Anytime that either a Maggie or not Martha or any of the kids or, anytime Kit has interactions, whether it's people riding inside him or if it's people, stealing him or attempting to steal him, like the car thieves in Night of the Phoenix, and they freak out when Kit.
Oh, that
Kit
was
takes
so
control.
funny.
It was so funny. Any of those moments are my first three notes here for favorite moments. All the stunts, the stunt work in the show is just absolutely amazing.
Perfectly coordinated.
Yeah. The history that starts it all with Night of the Phoenix and the history between Devin and Wilton, and then the history that we'll get into in later seasons and stuff like that. But the overall history and the overall continuity bits, whether it's Devin and Wilton, whether it's Michael and Stevie, whether it's Michael and Bonnie. And I do think we mentioned it briefly last week and the week before with Whitebird. When Michael explains to Bonnie, I think that's really where she's not a cold-hearted bitch anymore to him. Like, you watch the first 3 or 4 episodes of this series where after Bonnie has come in, and in the beginning she's just, oh, you're just a primitive, Mr. Knight, and this, that, and the other. I know that was Devin's line.
Yeah, that was Devin's line, but that's kind of the way she
it was
feels.
Devin's line,
no, that's the way
she
she feels.
Yeah, that's the way she feels. She feels that he is just the driver and Kit is the instrument. Kit is this, that, and the thing. I think after Whitebird, she really, warms up to him, and
I agree.
And, all that. So I love that.
Because
trust. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when you see Whitebird, and we had discussed it, and she says, "Who is Stephanie Mason?" And there is kind of that moment where, even though it's acting, that particular scene between Patricia and David, made me tear up a little bit because, he is explaining, the fact that Stevie and he were supposed to be married when he was Michael Long. Yeah. And unfortunately, he was shot, left for dead. And, Wilton saved his life by reconstructing his face in his son's image, Garth, who we will be talking about in season 2. But, I think, like, I agree with you. She warmed up to him. And she was not as cold-hearted towards him. It was more of they both were able to get along and have a funny sense of humor. A funny sense of humor and sarcastic role towards each other.
And I think there's an episode that we covered, I believe it's in episode 6 of the podcast, 2 episodes ago, where he asks her out if she wants to go grab a bite to eat or grab some dinner, and she's like, "I'm busy. I'm going to be doing this, and this to Kit." And he's like, "All that? Kit, don't you dare take advantage of her."
Kit says, "I won't."
Yeah. And then Bonnie goes on to say,
"Would you get out of here, you yo-yo?"
Well, yeah, but no. Bonnie goes on to say to Kit, she's talking to Kit, and she goes, "I hope his sense of humor isn't rubbing off on you, Kit." Oh, it isn't, Bonnie. And then Kit does something, and
I have to watch which episode that is.
Yeah, I forget off the top of my head. I don't remember which one it is.
Kit, try a little harder.
Yeah. The Kit versus Car. Trust doesn't rust. Trust doesn't rust was
Peter Cullen did Car justice in the first season, because obviously it was kind of learning its surroundings. It remembered being created, being programmed, and being deactivated. But then when Tony and the Rev reactivate him, he is basically going off his program, which is self-preservation.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, as much as I love Paul Frees,
I'm just pissed at the ending.
Oh,
just
freaking Ryan! Why'd you have to show that to us?
Just thought I'd point that out.
Yes. Well, if he would have never pointed that out to us, we could have gone on believing in,
I know.
In Car we trust. But what I love about it is, and I'm kind of disappointed at the same time, is when Carr comes back and it's Paul Frees. No offense to Paul Frees, and may he rest in peace.
Right. But he passed away like 3 years after he had done that episode.
Right. But my thing is, I would have wanted, even then, because it was just so jarring to me as a kid seeing it. Now, as an adult fan of the show, I wanted to see Peter Cullen back and Peter Cullen do that. I understand why the producers did it. They wanted a more sinister, but I'm telling you, Peter Cullen can go sinister. He can.
He can do some evil stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he has,
but people mistake Peter for Paul, and people will sometimes mistake Paul for Peter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a
where's Mary when you really need her?
It's
bad religion joke.
It's a catch-22 in all seriousness. Yes, it is a catch-22. But I would have loved to have heard Peter in season 3 in Kit versus Carr. But
Kit versus Carr.
When we'll get to that later, and we'll talk about that later. But trust doesn't rust.
Well, the thing about Trust Doesn't Rust, really quickly, and it's kind of my last favorite moment, or last favorite moment here, is that the thing about Trust Doesn't Rust, as I said in that episode that we reviewed it continues the continuity. We learn of stuff we didn't know before, which happened before Devin and Wilton found Michael, half dead in the desert. And that's what I like about that episode. So what about you? What are some of your favorite moments from season 1?
Night of the Phoenix, one of the episodes, or I'm sorry, not one of the episodes, one of the moments is when, Maggie misunderstands Michael in finding Tanya Walker. And, she tells him to move or she'll put a dent in the middle of that car. And you see her back into the car, and you hear this music that goes, and her bumper falls off of the car, and Kit is not scratched.
Yeah.
That's and the other comedic moments that I like from Night of the Phoenix were the two thieves trying to break into Kit. And actually, the second time is when they get into Kit, and you see him driving in Kit, and then eventually Kit is the star and just shows off his moves and things like that.
Yeah.
The third moment from Night of the Phoenix I like is when the left and right eject buttons are shown, and you see this Russian sweep when the guys are thrown from the car.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that and I thought, that had to hurt. Because it was slow motion. It was slow motion. Let's see. Season 1. There are several different moments from different episodes.
Yeah.
Like we discussed in previous episodes, I think what was it? Episode 6, we covered Whitebird.
Yeah.
Michael opens up to Bonnie a little bit more. Michael, and Bonnie, the tension is relieved some between the two. Bonnie is a bit more understanding. She doesn't think he's this pompous asshole, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And things like that. And of course, we'll get into that later in season 4. But let's see. Trust Doesn't Rust. I've covered that. Probably. There's too many. I mentioned the Natalie moments where I thought, in the short notice, I thought those were cute. But there are too many moments that are funny and cute and have a lot of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are those moments, and I know we're going to get to this, where we both have said, why the hell did this happen?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
But, probably, and it's like we've both said, when kids find out about Kit, their whole world lights up.
Yep.
Because it's like, wow, there are, my mom doesn't have a car like this, or my dad doesn't have a car like this, and I wish my parents could have a car like this. One of the other things I wanted to point out was when this show first started, people were going into their Pontiac dealers asking for Kit.
Yeah.
And this was actually brought up in the commentary for the season 1 Knight Rider. And so the Pontiac dealers called Universal and said, we would like you to refer to this as a black T-top. because we're getting several calls, and we're getting calls about, having this car customized to look like Kit. And also, I think we brought this up too. There was only one T-top, one Pontiac car that they used in the first pilot. They gave them one car and they said, "You break it, that's it." So,
yeah.
I'll let you, continue on, and you might have some more moments that I may not have brought up and have just completely forgotten about. We've covered so much in all these episodes.
Yeah, for me, what it boils down to is the overall continuity as far as the story of Knight Rider. The only other thing I'm going to add in is, Whitebird and what Whitebird will lead to eventually.
Yes.
Absolutely love that. And I think we can move on to the next section.
We are playing right into the hands of that jackal.
All right, so we are going to move on to our least favorite moments. You would think that there would be more of these, but there aren't for me. Anytime Mickey was on screen, enough said. And just, really for me, it's pretty much some of the illogical plot points, some of the illogical plots of certain episodes. Like in A Plush Ride, why is the Foundation hosting the third world leaders? Or like in Night Moves, that the guy at the company, the CEO is the one that, or not Night Moves. What's it? Damn. Nobody does it better.
Yeah.
Why is nobody
the CEO
better?
the one?
Yeah. Why is it that the CEO has to be the bad guy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
Right.
So that's. I mean, I overall thoroughly enjoyed season 1. I think it was absolutely amazing. But there are just a few moments where it's like, oh.
I agree with the Mickey reference. Yeah. There were some good episodes in season 1, some bad ones in season 1. But like you said, season 1 was enjoyable overall. Wow, I mean, there are a few nitpicks here and there.
Yeah, and most of it is nitpick. Yeah, God, yes.
Hearts of Stone. I'm sorry, but
Roberto.
Yeah, I just no. When you see the ambush going on, okay, you're gonna run out and gunfire. That's. I mean, true, it's Hollywood, but you do that, and I mean, obviously, and we all know you do it in real life, you're not gonna survive that. But. No. And I'm not making fun of anyone who,
right.
I'm not doing that, but I'm saying that you're doing this in a show and there's an ambush going on, and then you have to have Kit open the door and grab somebody to get her back into the car.
Yep.
That I watched that and I said, "What? Let me see that again." Night Moves. Meh. I just nah. Yeah. Didn't sit well with me in a lot of the plot.
Yeah, there are a lot of bad moments in that episode. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I think we can probably move on because I mean, overall, season 1 was
pretty good. This is just although I would like to point out that I really kind of wish that they had. After, obviously, they introduced Kit, they introduced Michael Knight in Night of the Phoenix. I kind of wish that they had not rushed around the Knight Rider universe episode-wise.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that when we get to the episodes. All right, we are gonna move on.
Who is Stephanie Mason?
Bonnie, in my other life, when I had a different face, when I didn't have this identity, when I was Michael Long, Stephanie and I were engaged to be married.
Michael, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah. No one knows. Except Devin. Now you.
I've programmed Kit with everything I could get on Cole. I hope it helps.
Yeah, me too. Thanks a lot.
Michael. Be careful.
I am the prototype of the car of the future. What you saw was merely an inferior production line model. A pale copy of the original.
All right, now we're going to talk about our favorite characters. For me, well, the obvious ones, right? Michael, Kit, Devin, Bonnie, Wilton. You know, as I said last week in one of the episodes, the part where we're talking about William Daniels voicing Kit.
Yeah.
You know, just the differences, in his voice and the different inflections that he used as Kit and everything else. Absolutely love that. There are times where Kit wants, I don't know if it's wants or does become emotional, where computers don't get emotions. What I love about, from the point of, again, I'm blanking on the episode. There was an episode, I think it was in episode 6, where I said that the classic voice modulator shows up, the bars.
Mm-hmm.
And what I liked about that for Kit, as I said in that episode, was the square block with the red light. That didn't really bring you into Kit's character.
It was around for a few episodes, but then that's when, like you said, they switched that around.
Yeah, they changed up his specs and everything else. As far as Michael, I love Michael's character because he is essentially the loner, but at the same time he needs Devin or Bonnie or whoever, and he really does want to help the helpless. I mean, he does.
Yeah.
That's his thing. Devin has his moments. Devin, for me, a lot of the times can be annoying as hell.
You're so mean.
No, I like Devin. I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm saying I like him, but there are just some times where
kind of overbearing.
Yeah. Like take Night of the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going after them. No, you're not. I forbid it. Devin, you can't forbid it. There are just certain moments, and then there are moments where I absolutely love his character, like when he got pulled over and he got detained in that one episode and everything else.
No big thing.
Yeah, even though that episode was no big thing. Bonnie, she's she's growing. As far as character goes,
yes.
And as far as all that, I really enjoy her. What I really love with Bonnie and Michael was before she really got to the point of warming up to Michael, as in Trust Doesn't Rust. Michael, Bonnie, yes, Kit.
Why are you lying to each other?
Just the fact that they would lie to each other, and the fact that in the face of death, that they would go out as friends. I think that's just absolutely awesome.
That was funny.
Yeah. Carr. Who doesn't like Carr? Carr, Tony, and the Rev. Those, that whole thing going back to Trust Doesn't Rust was just absolutely amazing. I just really, really love that. I thought that was great. The other one that I did enjoy was the team from A Plush Ride. I really enjoyed the differences in characters from the team, from Lopez to Keller to Jacobs to Margot, all that. I really enjoyed that. What about you? What are some of your favorite characters from season 1?
Wow. Of course, Edward Mulhare playing Devin, kind of the authority figure, the father figure, if you will. Richard Basehart, I know that he was only in one episode. I wish that he was not only around to kind of introduce Michael Knight, but maybe in one more episode per se, and not had been killed off immediately. Because watching David had actually said that when they had done that scene, everybody in the room just teared up because, you're doing that scene, and it was pretty emotional.
Right. I don't think, really quickly,
yes.
let's have some discussion about this.
Sure.
I don't think having him around past the pilot would have worked.
Richard?
Yeah, because the whole point of the pilot is that Wilton is, sadly, he's not in great health.
Yeah, he's dying.
He's dying.
Right.
And he needs to pass on his legacy. So again, just like I pointed out to you about Trust Doesn't Rust being, right after Night of the Phoenix,
right.
Same thing here. If he was in Deadly Maneuvers, it wouldn't have worked. Because the whole point
I see that now because he
needs
to
because
pass
the whole
on the
point
legacy.
You have to pass on the legacy.
Because I had also said something about Whitebird being after, and I forget which episode.
Yeah.
And you had brought that to my attention. Well, it would work if this were happen, if this would happen, but it didn't. So, but I see your point. But Wilton Knight, Richard Basehart was my favorite character. In this, I loved all the characters from A Plush Ride. I loved the twists and turns in that plot. I don't know who played him, but it was the character when they were arm wrestling, and I forget which episode too, but I know it was in season 1, and his watch is talking, and they're arm wrestling, and the guy looks up and
the wrestler, yeah. Hey, did your watch just
talk? His watch was talking. I liked that because it was kind of a surprise, and it was great. I like Car's demise. I just don't like the car that was used. Turn away.
Well, and again, if it wasn't for Ryan McDougall, we wouldn't have known about that. We could have kept our fantasies of seeing a Trans Am go off the cliff.
When I saw that explosion, I thought that's a Trans Am, and then when we got that, I'm like, oh, and I looked, I'm like, oh no, I didn't want to know that.
Curse you, Ryan.
Catherine Hickland.
Yeah.
Very good job in season 1.
Yeah.
There are some actresses that I don't think should have been in this episode, or not in this episode, I'm sorry, in this show. Only because and unfortunately I don't know their names, but the lady who played Terry, she's good at what she does. But I just don't think her character suited her.
See,
I know
there's no. It's not about Terry specifically.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying for Night Moves.
Yeah,
that episode did not suit her.
Right, exactly.
That episode did not suit her.
Yeah. And the thing about Knight Rider, well, the thing, at least in season 1, I know British people are going to kill me for this.
No.
Hold on. I know British people and spy movie lovers are going to kill me for this, but I see, Michael Knight as a James Bond type.
Ooh.
Where you're supposed to have Bond girls types of different types of Bond girls. You look at you look at Stevie. You kind of look at Bonnie, but even though that never happens, you know what I mean. You can look at
April.
Yeah, it's season 2. I'm talking about season 1.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to think of the daughter's name in Slam and Sammy's Stunt So Spectacular. You look at some of these women and they could be, the epitome of a night girl or a kit girl or a flag girl or something to where, you've got, the hot action star, you've got the car, and you've got the hot babe. Okay.
I think Francesca
And then
Morgan
there are
could have
some
done it.
episodes where you've got someone like Terry who, okay, that's a character. She's, she is the tomboy girl. She is this, she is that. Plus, she looked a lot, to me anyway, Terry looked a lot older than she probably was.
Yeah, she did. She did. On the hot chick side, I think we could probably add Francesca Morgan in there because near the end,
Was she in season 1?
Yes, in Not a Drop to Drink.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, now I know who she is. Yeah, all right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
She could have, been a night rider, type, kind of Kit, or maybe a secondary mechanic to Bonnie or something to that effect, or something that And I know that sometimes a lot of '80s shows will rehire actors or actresses to play a role, and of course we'll talk about that later in different seasons. But Francesca Morgan, the lady who played her, she did really well, and actually. The person that played in season 1, I don't know her name, so I'm sorry. I'm going by voices here.
Right.
But we will get to see the person that played in season 1 later as Rita.
Oh,
we will
okay,
get to see her again later in season 2.
Yep. Yeah.
So, but yeah, Francesca Morgan could do it. Robin Ladd, the lady who played her, could do it. So there's some good moments there with there's Hasselhoff's chick magnets for season 1, I guess.
All right, so we are gonna move on to the next part of the episode.
Kit.
Yes, Michael.
Just keep driving.
Now let's talk about our least favorite characters from season 1. First off, as I mentioned in episode 6, the moronic Justice Department agent. That name may not mean anything to you, but in the Justice Department circles, it means, the guy that was trying to interrogate Stevie. I hated him.
With a passion.
Yeah. The other chick, not the dumb bimbo, but the other chick, the Spanish or Latin or however the hell, the other chick in the episode that we shall never mention again. That's sharing the hotel room with Michael. I did not care for her at all.
I didn't either.
It's just no.
You are playing right into the hands of that jackal.
And of course, taking the cake is Joe. Joe, I think I'm married to a Joe. Oh no, wait. I know exactly. I'm an actress. Yay! I'm gonna go home, open the door, and let anyone come in and rape me. Oh God! Fuck you.
Oh wow.
What about you for?
I think Angie.
Angie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah, she sucks.
Angie.
Yep. She sucks.
Oh, let's see. Angie, of course, the other person we will not mention.
Yes.
So, yes, the justice guy or the FBI guy, whatever you want to call him, in Whitebird. The guy in the final verdict.
Yeah.
I hated him.
Marty.
No, not Marty. Like Marty. No. Not him.
Oh, the cop.
The cop.
Okay.
I hated him.
Okay, the cop. Okay, yeah.
I hated him.
Yeah.
Because he just seemed to be arrogant.
Yeah.
Let's see. The private eye.
Yeah. What about Liberty? Did you not like Liberty?
I did not care for her.
Liberty was a little...
I mean, okay, I understand you're supposed to be a reporter and you're supposed to get everything possible, but there are limits.
Yeah.
There are limits.
Yeah, there are. Overall, I mean, yeah.
And then I think
the
last probably there are two other characters that come to mind, and it was from episode 17, A Nice and Decent Little Town. One was the corrupt sheriff, and the other one was Ron Austin.
I didn't mind Austin. He wasn't someone that was a least favorite or a favorite deserving. I mean, because a lot of these villains in this show, majority of them, outside of say maybe 4 or 5, are essentially, throwaway villains.
Yeah.
Weekly villains. Ron Austin, I didn't really have a problem with him. And the corrupt law enforcement and judicials and all that, I tie that into one whole category. I don't like. I'm thinking like when I created these categories of favorite characters and least favorite characters, I'm thinking the characters we absolutely love,
right,
or the characters we absolutely fucking hate. So, anything else for least favorite characters?
Nah, I don't really have anything. I think enough's been said on that subject.
Yay!
Stephanie, me! Michael!
Oh, Michael. Oh, I thought they'd come back. I didn't know.
Who? What happened?
2 men came while you were gone. They tried to break in when I wouldn't open the door, so I ran out the back.
It's okay, Stevie. It's okay.
Why did you call me that?
What?
Stevie. Nobody calls me that anymore.
I guess I'm pretty thorough, huh? I must have read it in the Foundation's files. Come on.
We are going to be talking about episodes we love. Now, this is not... For me, there are 6 out of 22. Now, I did say in a previous podcast that Knight Rider episodes for me go from absolutely freaking amazing, okay, good, in the middle there, and just fucking horrible.
Yeah, good, best.
Okay.
Good.
These are episodes we love. These are going to be episodes that we can watch anytime, all the time. They're not going to be stuff like, just for an example, Short Notice, which is essentially, just a one-off episode. These are going to be episodes we love. My list includes Night of the Phoenix, obviously. Trust Doesn't Rust. Just My Bill. The Topaz Connection. A Plush Ride. And Whitebird.
Mine is Whitebird, Trust Doesn't Rust, Night of the Phoenix, Not a Drop to Drink, A Plush Ride. Let's see, I said Whitebird. I think let's see, A Good Day at White Rock. The reason I put that one there is because pretty much Michael gets the police officer to actually see, okay, look, you got a problem. But that's one of my favorite ones. I mean, it's not, and my goodness. I mean, out of 22 episodes, how can you figure? So those are mine.
Like I said, I knew going in, and I'm pretty much going to know going into every season recap, all the other season recaps that we do. I'm pretty much already going to know what episodes I'm going to absolutely love. But, I love these episodes for what they are. Right. I love the stories that were told in A Plush Ride, Topaz Connection, Just My Bill, Night of the Phoenix, Trust Doesn't Rust, and Whitebird. I love them for the continuity.
Now, see, I could watch your list. I could watch the ones you just read.
Yeah,
I could watch those because they are
right,
good.
Exactly.
They are very good.
Well, right. I mean, that's the whole point of this part of the episode is Knight Rider episodes we love.
Right. I mean, I just out of 22 episodes, for some people it may be hard to pick because you can't have all 22 episodes be your favorite. There's just no possible way to do that.
No. And there's no way because as we've seen in the last 7 episodes, the first, episode 1 to episode 7 of Beyond the Night, there have been episodes that we just downright hate. There have been episodes where we found shining spots in them, but overall the episode might have sucked. But no, these are episodes we absolutely love.
Right.
So now we're going to move on. We're going to flip the coin, and we're going to find out how Two-Face scarred it. So
it will enable you to monitor the location of any AIT truck with a CB radio.
No kidding. That should give Kid a chance to brush up on his trucker lingo.
Trucker shorthand brutalizes my vocabulary banks.
Now we're going to move on to episodes we hate. Now, this is episodes we hate. This is not episodes we can tolerate. This is not episodes that we find good things in. This is,
These are ones we would not
never watch again. Never watch again. I only have 2, surprisingly. I thought there was going to be more, but I only have 2. Chariots of Gold. Kill him, Kit. Kill Michael. No. Just fucking no. No. Chariots of Gold. And plus, he was too creepy around Bonnie. I mean, that was real stalker behavior. Yeah. And of course, the episode with the dumb blonde bimbo bitch that we will never mention again.
I have the same ones.
Yeah.
And Hearts of Stone.
Yeah, I could probably add that to my list too.
I could watch it.
Yeah.
But no. No.
Just some horrible.
Absolutely not.
Horrible acting in that episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, 2 out of 22 for me, 3 out of 22 for you. As I've said before, and I will say it repeatedly, Knight Rider episodes go from completely awesome to, I could watch that.
We could watch this. Oh my God, this is horrible.
Yeah, fuck this episode. All right. So let's just give some overall thoughts on season 1. For me, continuity rules. I love that. I love all the stunts going forward into future seasons. And I think this is a thing, and I'll bring this up in other recap episodes that we do for Classic. But as a kid, and I know now I'm watching them in order, but as a kid, Knight Rider was in syndication on multiple channels.
Oh God, yes.
From 86 to about, I would say
95.
95. Okay. From 86 to 95, Knight Rider was in syndication on multiple different channels. The problem with those channels is 94. They all have different start and end times. So what I mean by start and end times is, let's say you start on one channel with Night of the Phoenix and it goes through the episode order. You know what I mean? It goes through. But then you switch to another channel and you see a plush... Or not a plush, right? You see Big Iron or Mouth of the Snake or some other episodes.
Yeah, it plays them in different. It plays different seasons.
Right, exactly. So from the time I was 6 years old to the time I was 15 years old, I never really saw the episodes in order. Like, I remember one night I saw one of my favorite episodes. Can't think of the goddamn title of it now. I saw Killer Kit. And then right after it, I saw Whitebird. So as a kid, I never knew the whole evolution from from season premiere to season finale.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I didn't either. I mean, and you and I aren't that far in age, but obviously NBC was the original network that shared, was showing this, and then there were different channels, like you said. Sci-Fi has aired this. WGN has aired this. Yeah. USA was the last network, to my knowledge, that has picked this up.
Well, since 95,
I think it was 94 or 95.
Well, right. No. What I'm saying is since the syndication went away in 90, from 96 to now, from 1996 to today, to 2012, there have been several times where it has shown up, but only for a brief amount of time.
Yeah, and they don't show all of it.
Right. It was on the G4 network for a while.
Yes, it was.
It was on Clue. It was on Clue or Sleuth or whatever that.
It was on Sleuth here.
Well, no, but Sleuth, the Sleuth channel became Clue. CLOO.
Oh, they changed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sleuth became Clue, so it's essentially the same damn network. As you said, it was on Sci-Fi.
Right.
So, I mean, it has been in syndication since it went off the air, but from 96 to now, it's only been on...
Not very many channels.
Times. Right, yeah. Yeah. Did you? What are your overall closing out thoughts on season 1?
Season 1, the continuity is great, like you said. But the thing I want to add is we get to see Michael Long transform into Michael Knight. Kind of brutal, but that's what happens. He's shot in the face, left for dead. I've said that several times, but that's what happens. Wilton Knight, played by Richard Basehart. Damn good actor. I've not seen him in other stuff. I just saw him in this show, but I thought it was very good for this show. He passes on his legacy. Michael is kind of reluctant, but, agrees to stay and help Flag. And we kind of get the story throughout season 1 about Michael. Bonnie is kind of, added in later. She thinks Michael is a pompous ass, but then she warms up to him, and of course, we'll talk about, other seasons and things later on. But overall, season 1, if you're a big KR fan, watch the season. There are, like TFG1 and I said, there are episodes that you will love. There are episodes that you go, okay, and then there are episodes that you'll be like, oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. So we are going to go to a quick commercial break. You're going to hear some other KR audio in there as well, and we'll come back to close the show after this.
Would you care to tell me why you were running when all I want to do is talk to you?
Who are you? What do you want to talk to me about? I wasn't doing anything.
You were very offensive last night, Earthling.
Earthling? Who are you?
I don't really think you want to know the answer to that. We have had some unfortunate prior experience with Earthlings who became too inquisitive.
Are you from outer space or something?
Outer space covers a lot of territory. Anyway, we're wasting time. You'd better just get right in.
Get in? What for?
I've come to collect you.
You can now hear the Geekcast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free-use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear Geekcast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code box and enter Geekcast Radio, all one word, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code Geekcast Radio when you register.
Kid?
Yes?
Shut up.
For you, the listeners of Beyond the Night, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Use audibletrial.com/geekcastradio. That's the season 1 finale, folks. It only took us from episode 1 to episode 8 to talk about season 1. technically 7 podcast episodes for 22 episodes of a show. It's just flying by. I mean, before you know it, we'll be entering into territory that we absolutely cannot stand. Before you know it, there will be 5 vehicles.
I don't know. You had to bring that. No. Universal, why did you okay that show? That's all I'm going to say.
The only good thing about the show is the fact that Mr. Movie himself was the announcer. Don LaFontaine was the announcer in the.
Actually, there's a second. There's 2 good things. Mr. Movie himself, and then they dedicated. Actually 3. David Hasselhoff's voice was heard, and then the third thing was that after Edward Mulhare's passing, they dedicated an episode to his memory.
Yeah.
Because he was a part of the Knight Rider family. He was a part of the franchise at that, not in Team Knight Rider, but he was a part of Knight Rider.
No, I think it was. Isn't Knight Rider 2000 dedicated to him?
No, he was alive then.
I know, but maybe
no. It was an episode of Team Knight Rider that they put.
Well,
yeah,
we'll get to it when we get to it. Yeah.
Anyway, so those are the 3 good things. Other than that, no, the 5 vehicles, bleh.
Yeah, no.
My information and everything, because that's what he was going to ask. If you guys want to check out not just my show but other great shows as well on a station that is run by great visually impaired people, go on over to www.sky106.net. You can add us to Twitter. You can check out our MSN if you'd like to add us over there. You can also.
Does anyone still use MSN?
Yeah. Everyone uses that. It's just through maybe a third-party client such as Miranda or Trillion, if everybody uses that still. You can look at our DJ schedule page, and if you think you have what it takes to become a DJ over there at sky106.net, fill out the application, www.sky106.net. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, themusicman08. Once again, that is twitter.com/THEMUSICMAN08. And TFG1, you might want to put a link up there on Geekcast Radio just so that everybody can follow me from there.
Okay.
And then also, like I said, just, as I've said in previous podcasts, let me know how you got the Twitter name. So that way I don't think you're some type of damn spam bot, because I've had to block several within the last few days.
Spam is everywhere. It's not just,
But anyway, no, let me know how you got the name. Yeah. And if you have any KR questions or just questions in general for the podcast, I will definitely talk to TFG1 after we get done with the podcast entirely, and maybe maybe we can throw a random podcast together about questions from the listeners.
Possibly, yeah. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Night. There are several ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. You can download every episode there. You can also comment on the episodes. Email us at feedback@geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter. The show name there is @BeyondTheNight. Mine is @TF2NMike. You can also follow the network Twitter @GeekCastRadio. Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/GeekCastRadioNetwork. Call the voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving the message for and your name. 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Night and wish you'll join us next time when we will be reviewing the first 3 episodes. Technically 4, but first 3 episodes opening Knight Rider Classic Season 2, those being the Goliath 2-parter, Brothers Keeper, and Merchants of Death. Wow, where's Iron Man when you really need him? For now, I am TF2NMike with
the Music Man 08.
And now for a preview of Season 2.
But where on earth are we going?
Out of the desert!
We've got you patched together with scotch tape and baling wire as it is.
If I ever see that snout-nosed ignoramus again...
You better hope he's heading in the opposite direction.
I'm already reviewing my computer logs of our confrontation. In a matter of hours, I'll know everything there is to know about that banana-headed bovine.
You tell him, kid.
One man can make a difference, Michael. Michael Knight, a lone crusader in a dangerous world. The world of the Knight Rider.